Hey everybody, we are going to head into a ranked core set 2020 draft this morning. We have 5,000 gold, and we are poised to set an all-time high watermark for gems on the free-to-play account. We have 11,910 gems and a gold entry, so we're going to clear 12,000 if we can just get above 0 wins. We can pick up 1 win. We're going to get to 12,000 gems, which is a neat high water mark for a free-to-play account. And I want to thank you for joining me for it. And I'm going to thank Card Kingdom for sponsoring my stream. They have been a supporter of my Magic content for over a decade. They were the first sponsor of the Limited Resources podcast, which I co-founded with Marshall. And I've always had a place in my heart for Card Kingdom for that early support for couple of young plucky podcasters. And after I went to Wizards and came back out, they were there for me again to support me as I roll out this new content stuff that I'm working on. And I couldn't be more thankful for that. They are unique in the way they look around for content creators in the community to support. I love the breadth and diversity in their lineup, supporting people like me and many, many others. And if you want to support them in return, please check them out via my affiliate link down below in the panels. If you regularly purchase from Card Kingdom, you can do so from my affiliate link and really support this show a lot, even without sending me money directly. Any purchase that gets made from that link is kind of a notch on my my record for Card Kingdom, and that's great for my future discussions with them. So you're always going to get what you want, what you need, and you're going to get it fast. You're going to get what you expect. And if you have stuff to sell, their trade-in, their buy list prices are already best in the business. And then on top of that, 30% bonus if you want to do store credit. So please keep Card Kingdom in your rotation for all of your physical Magic needs. Thanks, Card Kingdom. I'm going to go into draft view here. We got an Evolving Wilds in the land slot, by the way. I'm covering it up. Robert asks, Ryan, you said on yesterday you designed the bot system to do something other than what it is. What did you design it for? The bot draft was, in my mind and in my goals, going to be the kiddie pool of arena drafting, that players were going to... if you were new to drafting, you would, or were too intimidated by a pick clock that you'd have with other humans, you could come to this lower level draft experience where the payouts are much flatter and lower, and there's bots. You know, so the idea of that was that it would attract newer drafters, newer players, and that experienced drafters would gravitate towards the all human queue, which we don't have yet. So that's what I meant by that. Would I eat the gingerbread man in the Throne of Eldraine trailer? It's a very tricky question, Devor, because if I found myself in Eldraine, I would be... No, I wouldn't. This is a sentient cookie that's clearly communicating or is capable of it. I would be terrified in this magical realm and would be afraid of everything. That's what I would do. Do I enjoy Chaos Draft? It's all right, but I'm a little more on the Marshall side of that judgment. But it's not that it's not fun. It's just that I have a limited amount of Magic to play in my lifetime from here, and I feel like I need to choose it carefully. And I would rather play a format blessed by Eric Lauer than play a format that had no R&D testing whatsoever. So let's get to this pick. We could take gems, but yeah, we could take gems. I think it's this is an interesting pick to me. Early on, I would have said Cloudkin Seer is the best blue common, but Boreal is a beast. This thing, well, it's an elemental, but this elemental is a beast. And when I have it, I tend to win, you know? Outrage is also an interesting pick, but I think if we're talking about a spell, we would take Blood for Bones over Outrage. I know, I get it, but Boreal Elemental has been more impactful for me in the games I've played it than the average Cloudkin Seer. So, yeah, so what are we doing here? This is a tough one. Let's go. I'm gonna pull this one. It's Blood, Boreal, Seer, or Outrage. I'm gonna do a long pull so you can think about it. This has so many options. I'm curious where people are at, and then I'll probably just take the rare for gems. I do think the bow situation is adjusted. I think the bots had a big adjustment in the last 2 weeks that has really affected the availability of bows. Interesting. So we've got 19 votes for a blue card, 14 Seer, 5 Boreal. Only a couple of people want the Outrage. 10 people want the Blood for Bones. Yeah, you could cut red with Outrage. You can cut black with Blood for Bones, though, if you're thinking about that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to... I was curious on the poll where people were at, especially Cloudkin versus Boreal, but I'm going to go with Blood for Bones. Let's see if we get instantly punished. Well, looks like this is an Outrage pick. I mean, there's nothing else even close in terms of power level, except maybe Sky Knight Vanguard, but we're not taking a Boros card here. So, Outrage. Black being the new de facto conventional wisdom most open color. I'm not going to say best color, but most open color on Arena is now, according to conventional wisdom, black. So that's a good reason to lean that way. Yeah, we can look at these black cards. This one's not really playable, but these three are all good to great. But we start on Thief. I like a Lich here. Brawler is good too. You can take a Brawler to go with the Outrage, but Lich is just excellent. So I'm going to take Lich. And we get rewarded with Lich into Winged Words, heading us towards blue-black control. There's a sprite that can play in that. I think we're going to cut the Outrage and try and make this happen, although it's not like the black's been flowing, but that means it should flow in Pack 2 pretty well. We had that third pick that was pretty good, and Skelly is decent here. You like Skelly over Prophet? Yeah, I think so. Skelly does a lot in this format. Yep, good point. Blood for Bones Skeleton is exactly the kind of combo we want. Unholy Indenture, I'm still not in, even with Blood for Bones. It still just feels like Fancy Play Syndrome to me, but we can take a Prophet here, or even a Moat Piranhas. I seem to be higher on Moat Piranhas than many for the right deck. Depends on how you're trying to win. I really like it in the Blue-White Skies deck. This is almost an Azorius card in many respects. So we'll just take a Prophet here. And we could pick up, this is best of one, and it's not like we have a bunch of twos. We have a Blade Brand. We're taking the Blade Brand over a Blight Beetle, right? Convolute or Befuddle, similarly marginally playable. Barony Vampire is a little bit below these two in their marginal playability, in my mind. Befuddle draws a card, but doesn't deal with anything permanently unless you turn it into a combat winning trick. But Convolute is a little awkward, tends to get a spell at some point, but tough to leave 3 open, etc. What do you think? Some people want befuddle. Trigger wants befuddle. Yeah, all right. Glad to have you here, Mensch. It's close. Maybe we'll get lucky and not have to play either. I'm going to take another Sprite here. I have found both Befuddle and Convolute to be underwhelming, but you play what you got to play. This is a super late brawler. We'll take it now and wonder if this is not where we're supposed to be. To take an Untamed Berserker. Or Raptor. Yeah, no one's in red. You know, if we do stay in blue, we should get our own flyers. I'm going to take the Berserker just in case we are really supposed to be in red for some reason. It might not be too late. It's pretty late, but we have an Outrage and a Brawler. And we'll put this on the board, and we'll see where it goes from here. We've got the Icon of Ancestry for the gems, and is it playable? Not really, unless we do something a lot more. It's definitely Thief or gems. I'm just trying to decide whether playable gems get a huge boost over just gems, right? I'm gonna be. I've been so it's so hard to be gem disciplined. I'm gonna take a Thief. I like Thief too much. And here we get a Vampire. That's fine. Another Winged Words, another Thief, first Vulture, first Soul Salvage. Probably just want to keep piling on the Thieves over one-shot card draw. 3 Thieves is a great place to be early on. We can work towards making that extra good. Some blue here, but none that we really want to play. We could take the Reclamation and maybe splash it. There's a bow that we could pick up and maybe look for a Weaponsmith. Bow is okay. There's Necromancer that's also okay, but it just feels very just okay to me. I was very surprised to hear that Luis was in on this as the first pick. Don't know if we don't have any tools to splash this yet. That's my problem with taking this card. Everything else is like sideboard or not really. Or we could take, yeah, these two again. All right, we'll take Necromancer. I don't know if you like just saying, we'll pick up Fixing is pretty loose to say in when you're black-blue. Although there's some splash potential right there, huh? We could also take Anticipate or a Cutthroat. Cutthroat after Thief is usually pretty good. They're gonna trade or eat a Thief, and then you get to drop a Cutthroat. We could be black-red. Right now, that seems better than... yeah, I'd probably take Dragon and lean back towards black-red. We've got some decent blue, but not amazing. Like, our best cards are Timebound, Lich, and a Winged Words. Everything else is whatever. Or Timebound, Tomebound. Red does seem more open. I'm going to take the Dragon then. And the Dragon could help us splash some of the blue. Now this is rough. Not much here for anything we're doing. I guess we take a Sorcerer over First Servant. Yeah, maybe the Cutthroat Wheels. Not guaranteed, but maybe. Skelly or Skeleton number 2, or we can pick up an Altar. We gonna sacrifice things at the altar? We could do that. With pick up another skeleton. Altar gets pretty decent. Let's take an altar and see what we can do with it. Vile, War Chief. War Chief has been an okay 5. I mean, 5s are so replaceable. That's why I was not really interested in the Necromancer. I wasn't really interested in the Necromancer because I knew we could pick up things like this and they'd be just fine. We don't have a first servant is the thing, right? So it is, though, War Chief or Servant. If we end up on the Servant plan, is it like good enough for Blood for Bones to even do? I think I'm going to just take the War Chief. I don't think we want to be in the Servant plan. Servants are okay with Altar, yeah, but I mean, really, you just want Skeleton with Altar. Servant Train, yeah, now we can, but like, I still think Vengeful War Chief in the abstract is just a better place to be than a First Servant in the middle of Pack 2, but now we'll take it, pick 9, see if we get enough of them. I just seriously doubt it. Seriously doubt we end up playing that. Vile on 2 or Abomination on 6. I'm gonna take Vile. You really don't want to be playing Viles in a black-red deck. It should be chock full of premium removal. But if we don't get any more removal, we will play it, and I think Abominations are practically free. So I'm going to put this in the board in hopes that we don't have to play it, Fenor, but we are in a spot where right now I would play the Vile, and then I'm going to take it and hope we don't have to. Take it and hope we find our way through. Soul Salvage, great. Another Vile, though. Now I'll take a Convolute in case we back up into blue. Anticipate. Crab. I'm not running a negate main deck best of 1, I don't think. You could, Robert, but I really prefer negate out of the board. Leyline for gems versus what? Like garbage? I guess this is where I have the discipline to take gems. Yeah, I can update that here. Let's turn it off for now. Yeah, this pack's awful, so we'll take some gems and try and wheel the Pack Mastiff if we're still in red. Don't even know. Rob wants the bow. I want gems. All right, now what? Now what? No red. Winged Words is the best card, pushing us back towards blue. Let's sort everything and try and figure out what we actually are. Double Sorcerer is fine. Even if Double Sorcerer is fine, then the plan should be to wheel this Sorcerer, not take it here. What are we spinning the wheel on, Robert? Oh no, we're not taking the land here. We would take words over land. All right, I'm gonna take words and try and figure it out here. What are we? Murderers is what we are. Scholar of the Ages, though. Scholar of the Ages. Scholar of the Ages and Blood for Bones, people. What if we cut the red now and take a look at this? If we were to take it, we have Anticipate, Blade Brand, Soul Salvage, Double Winged Words, Convolute, Befuddle, Blood for Bones itself. We don't have any murder yet. I'm taking Scholar. You can't stop me. Second Soul Salvage, first Cutthroat. I kind of like first Cutthroat behind the Triple Thieves. I know we don't have removal yet, but I couldn't pass up Blood for Bones nonsense. My hope was to pick some up. Maybe it will fail at that. Snag a Warden here over potentially splashing red. Like, well, if we took a Cliffs, what are we happy to splash here in red? The dragon? Are we splashing a dragon? Lavakin Brawler? Like, I just don't think the splash is worth it when we can just grab a decent flyer. It's not like we're heavy flyers, though, either, which is where this shines. It's really just kind of a 2/2 flyer for 3 for us. Not amazing, but it tends to be a lightning rod as well, so we'll take it. Fourth Thief or first Elemental. I think we have to take the first Elemental. This is kind of like a game-winning card for us. Now I gotta be sad and take like a sleep paralysis because we don't have removal. Although I could take Unsummon. That at least does work with the Scholar. But probably need paralysis. Sad removal is still removal. Yeah, red was wide open. Still wasn't quite good enough there for us in the end. And I don't think we're getting there on Servants. But I also don't think we're going back to red in any way, shape, or form. We ever playing Servants, though? Yeah, Smuggles are good with Thieves. I'll take it on the long shot that we somehow get tools to splash, but I don't think we're playing anything there. I don't think we're playing this. I'll take another Vial. Again, we didn't get the removal we wanted. We might have to use removal we're not super happy with. Here is the Sorcerer that wield, and we could also Blight Beetle, but I think Sorcerer over pretty narrow. You want to YOLO the Beetle, Robert? Nah. Why? You come on. I mean, what's going to happen is we're not going to play either one we take. This is best of 1. If it's best of 3, I'd snap up the Beetle in a heartbeat. Skofrek, glad to have you back. How you been? YOLO? No low. I don't think it matters. I'm not playing it, so it just doesn't matter. I'm not playing the Sorcerer or the Beetle, I think, is the bottom line. Here we can take a Prismite. There's our splash. Prophet. We playing another Prophet? Don't we have 2? And we only have 1? Yeah, we'd play another Prophet, I guess. I don't over the main deck negate. Yeah, we'll take Prophet. I didn't get any mythics, so we have no crafting to do or anything. We'll get the grind we have. Oh, this reminds me. I created a lot of work for myself by not keeping up on my spreadsheet, but I got caught up on the work of the spreadsheet yesterday, and I'm really going to try and take a moment to enter it as I go so that I don't leave myself with huge amounts of homework later. The good news is that my spreadsheet is super up to date now on results. So if you want to, oops, I have to spell it right though. If you want to review old videos, you can look at my results, and the on-off air indicator has a link to actually just go watch the YouTube video. Well, this got a little bit convoluted, but it's not awful. Only ended up with one Skelly. Didn't find much to do with the Scholar, but I still love Blood for Bones. Scholar is just bonkers. That's what I didn't have the discipline to take Murder over Scholar because I was blinded by this combo. And let's go to our current numbers. 18-8. Maybe cut a Sprite. And a Sorcerer. I know this reduces our low plays, but... And you cut this Befuddle. What about this? Do we need to add another 2 to feel comfortable? You can put like an Anticipate back so that we have a little more to go after with the Scholar. If we did that, although, whatever, we have 2 Winged Words. We don't need to Anticipate. I think I kind of like this. We're a little light on early plays, only 4 early plays. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we cut an Octo and put a Sprite back. I think this is a little light on early plays. We can put a Vial in too. And maybe cut, even cut Warden. Like, what is this doing? It makes Boreal Elemental cheaper. I think we just cut the Warden. It's somewhat of a lightning rod, but it's a pretty unimpressive creature. I'd rather just have, I mean, this is effectively a 2-power creature as well, but it comes out on 2. Yeah, that's true. Maybe we cut one of these. Probably cut this one if we did that. Could even put a Sorcerer back if we wanted to really shore up. Now we have a bunch of stuff to do it too. Or we could cut one of these and put the Prophet back. Maybe it's that. This is starting to look correct to me. 1 Sorcerer because it's really got a late game impact. Sad removal, but we play one of them. All right, let's try this. What do we think about par here? I don't think this looks great, but it's got some tools. I'd call this pretty average, which makes me want to put it at 3. Oops. You want the Befuddle over the second Octoprophet. Yeah, you're right. It does protect the thieves. I'm going to start here, but I'll keep that in mind. Maybe we'll come back and swap in a Befuddle, because Befuddle is good at protecting a thief. You're right. Let's call this... Ages. It's just kind of whatever. It's not really doing anything. It's really a 2/2 flyer for 3. And we're pretty loaded up on 3. I think all of these, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 3-drops that I think are all better than the Warden. That's why, basically. Yeah. That may be a little bit too on the nose for YouTube. Might change that before we go, but I don't like sitting around waiting, looking, The ideal is to find something that won't spoil the deck contents for YouTube, but